We are live inside Labatt Memorial Park here in downtown London. It is Game 4 of the Intercounty Baseball League quarterfinals between the Kitchener Panthers and the hometown London Majors. Noah Smith, Mark Pare joining me up here in the Game Day London broadcast booth for tonight's contest. Mark, an exciting Game 4 comes to London here on this Tuesday night. One team on the brink of elimination tonight, one team on the brink of a second-round appearance. It's going to be a good one, already shaping up to be.
And it's not the team you thought it was going to be at the beginning of this series. Many people obviously had the Kitchener Panthers winning this series with that 2-7 matchup. But 2 losses by the Panthers on Sunday, 2 big victories by the London Majors on the road. Well, see what they can do here on their home diamond, where, again, no home team has won a game this series.
And we'll see if that changes here tonight. Of course, the London Majors fans who have made their way out to the Forks of the Thames tonight, hoping that is the case. The Majors looking to punch their ticket to the second round in what would be a face-off against the Welland Jackfish in round 2, which would be a tough round. They, of course, Roop Chanderdat, the coaching staff, the players for the Majors, they're looking at tonight's, and they're going to take this thing a pitch, an inning at a time.
Yeah, and they have to. I mean, you look at what we saw on Friday night in this ballpark. It was a pitcher's duel between Pedro de los Santos and Yadian Martinez. That's the same pitching matchup that you're going to be seeing here tonight as well. So, if you're the Kitchener Panthers, just talking with the dugout area, the main message is try to get some early runs on the board. Try to get a couple of runs in support of Yadian Martinez and see where it takes you. For the London Majors, of course, you're not going to have Owen Boone and that 151 pitch count that he had on Sunday through 10 innings of work. But it's going to be up to this London Majors pitching staff to keep this Kitchener Panthers offense really at bay, which they have been doing all series rather.
Yeah, the Majors can look at this one of 2 ways. They can look at this as a chance to win this on home soil, but they know, even though they've had success at Jack Coach this season in this series, they don't want this to go to a Game 5. They want to end this here tonight because they know that if the Panthers get a little bit of momentum here with a win in Game 4, it could be a tough game tomorrow in Kitchener.
And Kitchener is kind of a Jekyll and Hyde, it seems like, in the second half of the season. You really don't know what you're going to get. It's like a box of chocolates, as they say, Noah.
Well, we are going to hit a break here. The national anthem's about to get underway here at Labatt Park. When we come back here on Majors TV, first pitch here in Game 4 of the Intercounty Baseball League quarterfinals.
I want to ride this pony, but I suffer from low E.
Millions of people are suffering from low energy, commonly known as low E.
Low E has hurt my performance in the bedroom. I haven't been able to make the bed in years.
Now there's hope.
Planet Fitness replaces low E with Big E, which keeps you energized and glowing all day. Simply join through the free PF app for only $15 a month.
Planet Fitness is a proud partner of your London Majors.
You're watching.
Here's the pitch. Joseph drills it to right center field. That ball's going back to the warning track, to the wall. Goodbye, baseball. Starling Joseph, a 2-run home run.
London Majors Baseball on MajorsTV.
Here we go.
Believe me, you've never heard a talk show like this.
I'm sleeping with Joe Carter. By the way, Joe did not touch them all.
Yeah, I have to say, your voice is fantastic.
Me, Smitty.
Listen, I'm the brains here.
And Mitty.
And I'm the good-looking funny one.
This is the Smitty Mitty Show.
Catch new episodes of the Smitty and Mitty Show wherever you get your podcasts.
You're watching London Majors Baseball on Majors TV.
Back inside Labatt Memorial Park as the anthems are complete and we are set and ready for playoff baseball here on a Tuesday night in downtown London. Thank you for joining us here wherever you are tuning in from. Noah Smith, Mark Pare up here in the Game Day London broadcast booth to bring you the action here tonight. And as you teased a little bit earlier on here, Mark, we've got a repeat, the same pitching matchup that we saw here in what was Game 2 of the series.
And again, you look at that Kitchener Panthers 8th inning. That really was the only difference in the ball game. The rest of it, well, credit Pedro de los Santos and Yadian Martinez, who were striking out anything that moved, it seemed, in that second game of this series. For the London Majors, of course, looking at de los Santos' line, he went the 7 innings, plus, of course, gave up just the 1 run, 5 hits, 1 walk, and 9 strikeouts. And that's against the Kitchener team that was, among the better teams in the league when it came to, being issued walks. I mean, very patient at the plate for the most part, but obviously very good with the bats as well. And to have Pedro de los Santos get 9 strikeouts on them, I mean, he was cooking on Friday. Let's see if he's got it in him again here tonight.
Well, in the London Majors as well, you could call it a little bit of, fortunate for them that they haven't had the Kitchener Panthers catch fire yet. That's also, of course, credit to the pitching of the London Majors. But that's one thing they don't want to happen here in tonight's game if they don't get through this game and tomorrow night's game is you don't want these Panthers bats to get hot.
No, and because when they do, they are, point blank, the best team in the IBL. I mean, among many players among the league leaders when it comes to average. You look no further than an MVP candidate in Raul Gonzalez. Andy Leader just seems like he gets better and better as the years go on. You pick up a guy like Elliot Curtis, who caught fire earlier on in the season, but more known in the second half as just being a guy that knows how to put the ball in play, and that's why you're seeing him in the leadoff position.
And speaking of Elliot Curtis, here he comes to the plate to step in against Pedro de los Santos, the left-hand pitcher starting the ball game for the Majors with a pitch up in the zone for ball 1. 7:37, the first pitch of the ball game tonight. Pedro ready here, and this one's going to be popped up. Tough location down the line towards foul territory. And there to make the grab is Tommy Reyes-Cruz all the way over from shortstop for out number 1.
And we have seen him do that many, many times this year. Just a lot of speed, really tracks the ball very well. And obviously Tommy Reyes-Cruz making a great catch there in foul territory to record the opening out.
Couldn't ask for much of a better start for Pedro de los Santos. 2 pitches, and he's got the first out of the ball game. So Andy Leader will stroll to the plate here to face off against de los Santos, and he'll foul the first pitch back into the screen, 0-1.
And if you're the Kitchener Panthers, again, the strategy on Sunday, especially when you were facing Owen Boone, was try to run that pitch count up. Try to run that pitch count out. Maybe get those 8 or 9 pitch at bats and just try to get Pedro de los Santos and figure out what he's throwing to you.
Like a pretty good location there, but that one's going to miss to move the count to 1-1. De los Santos continues to work quickly here. That one will miss. 2 balls and a strike now.
Home plate umpire tonight is Jeff Rose. He's the crew chief. Nick Leffler is over at second. Mike Kinnear is at first, and Rob Stevenson is over at third.
Squaring around to bunt as that one will miss for ball 3 is Leader. And after getting ahead with a first pitch strike, it's now a 3-1 count here. De los Santos in danger of the 1-out walk. That one's going to miss inside, and he will walk Leader. So the Panthers have a man aboard with 1 out here in the top of the first.
And just a good plate appearance by Andy Leader. Again, as I talked about before, a guy that just continuously runs up the average since really the turn of the pandemic. He has really improved year after year. Strikes out a little bit more than he has issued walks, but just a guy that's overall patient at the plate and will hit what's given to him.
Raul Gonzalez strolls to the plate here, looking to see if the Panthers can get something going here with 1 out in the inning. Looks at that first pitch called a strike by Jeff Rose, and it's 0-1.
Of course, Thursday he had a big home run to put the Panthers on the board in Game 1.
Looks at that one in the dirt and blocked by Eduardo De Olio. Count now moves to 1-1. Across the infield for the Majors this evening, Dan Patel is at third. Tommy Reyes-Cruz, who introduced himself earlier on for the first outs at short. Jordan Schulafan is at second, and Kane McGee is at first. This one's hit high in the air, down the left field line. Strolling over is Starling Joseph, and he'll make the catch right on the foul line for out number 2.
It was a hard hit ball by Raul Gonzalez. Roughly in his wheelhouse. He's usually known for really connecting that pull power going into left field. If you're in Jack Couch Park, sometimes that ball is out of here, but bigger ballpark to work with here tonight at Labatt Memorial.
The weather conditions tonight, Mark, are fair. It's a little on the chilly side since the sun has gone down. There's a slight breeze that has been changing, kind of from blowing from right to left and even in at times. We'll see if that plays anywhere into this ball game tonight.
Definitely a similar feel weather-wise to what we saw on Sunday in Kitchener.
Dos Santos looks not going as the first pitch is called a strike. Liam Wilson at the plate here for Kitchener. Leader is at first base after drawing the one-out walk. Dos Santos to the plate. This one catches the inside edge of the plate as well, and it's 0-2.
Feels like the Kitchener Panthers are just waiting for Liam Wilson to heat up. He's only hitting .83 with his average so far in this series, 1 for 12. Not very Liam Wilson-like.
Well, and that's where we went back to off the top of the broadcast. Don't let the Panthers get hot. This is one guy that the Panthers are hoping heats up. Pitch up in the zone, and that one's going to be fouled back into the screen. Count stays at 0-2 here.
And we saw right on the jump there, too, Andy Leader took off for second base on that stealing attempt. Kitchener 1 for 1 on stolen bases this year, an element of their game that was missing in 2022, and then coming into 2023, really picked it up, a lot more aggressive on the base paths. So that's something that we haven't seen as much here in this series.
Wilson in an 0-2 hole here against De Los Santos, who deals to the plate, and that one's rifled back up the middle. Getting a good jump is Leader, and he's going to go first to third as the Panthers stay alive with 2 outs here in the first.
That is a big hit for Liam Wilson, not only for this contest, but just for his mentality, getting on the board, getting onto the base paths, and just getting a little bit more confidence in his bat, which I think has been missing in the last few games.
So now the runners at first and third. Wilson at first after the 2-out single. Leader moved up to third on the play. And Ibarra strolls to the plate here, looking to try and see if he can put the Panthers ahead early here in the first inning. Dos Santos ready, and the first pitch taken for a strike, 0-1.
Very good location on that pitch from Pedro De Los Santos to get up in the count.
Panthers seeing a lot of pitches early in the counts here, trying to get a feel for De Los Santos on the hill. Staring down Wilson at first, now delivers to the plate. This one chopped up the middle, going to be a tough play into the glove. Doesn't have a play across the diamond to one, not in time, and a run comes in to score. The Panthers are on the board first here in Game 4.
A great job by Junior Ibarra. And one thing that we talked about in Kitchener, Noah, was just the confidence that he has had at the plate since coming back from Team Cuba in early July. It seems like he's got that extra pop in his bat now. He's contributing a lot more offensively. Again, brought into this organization as more because of his defense, but now he's really added that offense to his game.
It's an infield single up the middle, scores a run. And as mentioned, the Panthers first to strike here in Game 4 with a 1-0 lead. Marcel Lacasse will come to the plate here for Kitchener. And looks at the first pitch breaking ball for a strike.
Marcel Lacasse, good to see him in the lineup all throughout this series. Again, was hit by a pitch in that twice in that game against Barrie on August 20th. One in the noggin, one in the shin area.
And a healthy cut there from the lefty, but he swings right through the breaking ball. It's 0-2.
Of course, was checked by the medical staff, and they said, hey, you're good to go. Let's do this.
It's been a welcome addition back into the Panthers lineup here, looking to try and find a big hit in the first inning. 1 run already across for Kitchener here in the first. And now time called by Jeff Rose. De Los Santos was a little bit late picking that one up as he delivered to the plate. Some fans still rolling into the ballpark here. Decent crowd for a Tuesday night playoff contest here in London.
Wonder if we're going to get those dueling chants like we saw on Sunday.
To the plate, and that one is fouled off. Lacasse just fighting to stay alive there.
Definitely a great playoff atmosphere. A lot of fans in attendance here tonight, not only from London, but making the trek down the 401 like I did.
Still in the back end of August here, but you've got that kind of chilly playoff baseball in the air tonight. 0-2 again from De Los Santos. This one popped up. Chasing it into foul territory goes Dan Battelle, and he makes the grab right up against the fence. So the defense helping out the Majors and Pedro De Los Santos here in the top of 1, but it's the Panthers getting on the board first with a 1-0 lead.
Seemed like Battelle was questioning where that ball was as he was running toward it, but caught it right at the last second and was able to pick it up to retire the side.
So the Panthers pick up a run on 2 hits and a 1-0 lead as they head out to the field, and the Majors head to the bats here for the bottom of the first inning. London hoping to get some offense going here, trailing 1-0 in this ball game. They knew they were going to have to get the bats going at some point today. They were going to have to get the offense going. Pedro De Los Santos on the hill, but it's no secret after him then. The Majors are going to be into their bullpen likely today, and if this series goes to 5 tomorrow, with Owen Boone throwing the 151 pitches, on Sunday.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting how things are played in this game tonight. And I think the score line is really going to dictate how the Majors work that bullpen. Do you have the chance to close out this series at home? Or do you save some arms for a potential Game 5? Again, it really depends. Maybe Kitchener's up 4, 5, 6, 7, 8-1. Just being hypothetical, not being a homer or anything like that. But I really do think as this game goes along, the scoreline's really going to dictate how these two teams work their bullpens. Not only from the London Majors side, but from the Kitchener Panthers side as well. Kitchener, of course, they sent 5 guys to the mound just in Game 3. They sent another 4 in the back half of Game 1. So there's 9 arms right there that went on Sunday.
Panthers liking how this one has started for them, and Austin Wilkie will stroll to the plate for the Majors here to lead off the bottom of the first inning. Yadier Martinez is on the mound for the Panthers here. And as a former pitcher myself, Mark, there's nothing better than starting the bottom of the first inning with the lead.
Absolutely. It is the 1 run, but 1 run is better than none.
So Martinez ready to roll here as the Panthers get ready to start the bottom of the first inning against the top of the Majors order. The first pitch is there for a strike to Austin Wilkie. It's Wilkie, Reichstein, and Joseph. The 3 outfielders will lead off the bottom of the first inning for London.
And Martinez has really been effective in his time here with the Kitchener Panthers. Again, had the 10 strikeouts on Friday night. Only made 5 appearances. That's all you needed to get through the regular season.
Swing and a miss from Wilkie, and the count moves to 1-2 in favor of Martinez.
And to qualify for the postseason, of course, you get a 3-1 record, a .432 ERA, 16 strikeouts to 7 walks in the regular season.
Missed outside there. Looked like he went with the breaking ball that slipped out of the hand at the end. Count to 2-2 for Austin Wilkie. And a swing and a miss. Nice tight break on it, and he gets a strikeout for out number 1 here in the bottom of the first.
Just a good job by Yadier Martinez there, just working around the zone and getting Wilkie to swing at that one.
So Byron Reichstein now for London. He's the right fielder in tonight's ball game. For Kitchener, Lacasse, Gonzalez, Whalen, and Wilson are the infield from left to right. And now stepping off the hill is Martinez. Not sure if he got a fly or a bug up around the mouth area there.
Well, those wasps have been flying around here.
If you notice, it's that season as well. You take
really
a walk
is.
around. First pitch to Reichstein, outer edge and called a strike as Martinez gets ahead.
Well, our public address announcer in Kitchener, Matt Russell, he, I think, killed about 15 or 16 wasps in the booth.
Off the plate there to Reichstein, count moves to 1-1. There's nothing worse than when you're just trying to do your job and the wasps are up around you.
Oh, yeah.
Reichstein drills one right back up the middle, a base hit into center field. And the Majors, with one out, will get their first base runner, their first hit of the ball game, thanks to Byron Reichstein.
And Reichstein has been very effective for this team, not only this season, but in others as well. His 6th hit on 11 at-bats so far in this series, including 2 home runs in that stretch, too. So a guy that really just knows how to put the ball in play, and he'll put it over the fence if you need him to.
So Martinez will work from the stretch with Reichstein over at first after the single. And now Starling Joseph will come to the plate here for London. First pitch fastball in there to Joseph, 0-1.
And this is a guy, I'm a little surprised that he's pitching in on, actually not surprised that they're pitching in on Starling Joseph. All 3 pitches that he hit for home runs in Jack Couch, pretty much over the heart of the plate. Joseph wasn't really chasing all too much and just got a lot of power underneath it. Just trying to take away the power out of the bat of Starling Joseph is Yadier Martinez. That's the game plan that you need to have against him.
6 for 12 so far in the playoffs with 3 long balls is Starling Joseph, but now he's in an 0-2 hole after a called check swing there against Martinez. Righty delivers off the plate, and it's 1-2.
Trying to get him to chase, but
it's a similar pitch, just a little bit more off the plate than the strikeout he got to Austin Wilkie to begin the ball game. 1-2. And a fastball right by Joseph. Strikeout there for Martinez, and there's 2 gone.
And that was just, I'm going to throw heat. Absolute heat. And that's exactly what Yadier Martinez there. No chance for Starling Joseph to make connection with that one. And the speeds that Martinez was working with at that at-bat, a little bit more off-speed sometimes, but that one there was probably the hardest thrown ball of that at-bat, without question.
Started him in with the fastball, then worked in some off-speed to him before he came back to that fastball, and as you mentioned, probably an extra couple miles per hour on it to finish off the at-bat. It's a curveball to start the at-bat to Reyes Cruz. It misses outside, and it's 1-0.
And another guy that want to try and take the power away from, Tommy Reyes Cruz hitting 2 home runs in Jack Couch Park this series. 5 for 12 in this series as well, including a pair of doubles.
And part of the reason why he is up this far in the order. Hitting in the cleanup spot here is that one will miss outside. 2-0 here to Reyes Cruz. Eduardo De Olio is behind him on deck. Majors hoping they can get to that point here if Reyes Cruz can keep the inning alive. Reichstein with the lead at 1, no more than a couple steps off first base. Pitch to Reyes Cruz, fastball there for a strike. Yadier Martinez quickly back and grabbing his sign here. And now a move over to 1. Has Reichstein diving back in plenty of time.
You had a couple of fans chanting, he's running, he's running, he's running. So maybe the fans are playing a little bit of a factor here.
As much as you try not to have that stick in your head too much, I'm sure it's there. And hey, what does a little throw over to 1 hurt?
Exactly. You don't have that limit like they do in the majors.
Reyes Cruz will foul one off here. Got a fastball it looked like on 2-1. That one there to play. 2-2 here. Looks like a nice grab made out there in the third base grandstand.
You know, one-hander maybe?
It's a nice little Tuesday night souvenir here.
Why not? Glad you guys can get souvenirs. Although we exchange our baseballs in Kitchener.
Fouled back Reyes Cruz. Count will stay at 2-2.
But if you want a freezy, just need to catch a ball and catch.
Listen, I might take the freezy. Listen, it's a little bit chilly tonight, albeit, but still freezy weather.
Hey, I'm from the north. I'm used to cold 9 months out of the year. I'll take a freezy any day.
2-2 Martinez upstairs, and the count will move to full here. So Reichstein will wait for Martinez to deliver, then he'll be off on the pitch. Panthers infield, of course, communicating that they're going to have to go across the diamond here if a ball is hit on the ground. Martinez ready for a 3-2 to Tommy Reyes Cruz. Grabs his sign, now delivers. This one popped up, sky high. Catcher there, and making the catch to retire the Majors here in the bottom half of inning number 1. Majors don't get anything here in the first. The Panthers do. 1 run on 2 hits for Kitchener. Has them up by a score of 1-0 after 1 complete here at the ballpark. You're watching London Majors Baseball in the Intercounty Baseball League playoffs here on MajorsTV.
Go beyond the scores and get to know the athletes who call the Forest City home.
Joseph crushes one.
Game Day London brings you in-depth stories and conversations about London's major teams and the athletes. Whether it's in the rink with the Knights or on the field with the Majors, Game Day London has you covered from the start. For fresh and engaging sports coverage, visit GameDayLondon.com, a proud sponsor of MajorsTV.
You're watching London Majors Baseball.
London Majors Baseball. London Majors Baseball on MajorsTV.
Back here on MajorsTV, Game 4 of the Intercounty Baseball League quarterfinals as we head to the top of the second inning. Panthers up with an early 1-0 lead.
And Pedro de los Santos, 20 pitches needed to get through the top half of the first. Gave up the pair of hits, gave up the 1 run. And if you're the Kitchener Panthers, just continue to plug in and try to get some momentum going underneath you. It is the bottom of the order. Waylon, Ruiz, and Jarvis due up. But again, bottom of the order still has some power and some pop to it. And it's going to be up to De Los Santos to really just try to, recover from that first inning and maybe get a nice 1-2-3.
Wasn't a bad first inning for him by any means. A couple of hits and then a 2-out run coming in on the infield single for Kitchener. But he knows here that he's going to have to, first of all, get the Majors through a good chunk of innings tonight. And second of all, try to keep the Panthers, I would like to think, probably around the 4 or 5 run mark through probably 6 innings of work would be a good start for Pedro de los Santos tonight. Anything better than that, of course, is fantastic, as the first pitch will miss upstairs for ball 1. Yeah. Of course, the Majors, they know they're going to have to get the offense going to win this ball game.
Yeah, you want to, obviously, on the defensive side, you want that 4-5 run to be the sweep spot.
Owen came inside and hit Whalen, so De Los Santos is going to hit the leadoff man here in the inning.
But, yeah, I mean, with the way the London Majors bats were rolling on Sunday, they need to continue that momentum. Just continue to put the ball in play. They don't need to rely on the long ball. They relied on it in Game 1. They didn't need to in Game 3. Yes, you had the homer from Byron Reichstein, the 2 homers, I should say, from Byron. But for the most part, their success on Sunday in Game 3 was all about just putting the ball in play and getting some great pitching as well, especially from Wilber Martinez, retiring the final 12 Kitchener batters.
So De Los Santos ready here to face Humberto Ruiz as that first pitch is called a strike to get ahead.
Of course, many around here familiar with Humberto Ruiz and his IBL career.
Back with the Majors and helped them win a title. Now in the Kitchener Panthers uniform on the opposite side of the field.
And he's been kind of in and out of the lineup. Of course, in the outfield, you usually had Blake Jacqueline, Andy Leader, Jet Jarvis from left to right. Ruiz came in as kind of that fourth option, would come in every now and then. Now he's in that starter position with Blake Jacqueline gone to school, and it's really up to him to just take this role and run with it. He's got the playoff experience, so it's definitely a great fourth option to have if you're Kitchener.
Way up on Ruiz at 0-2. And he gets him to foul one off, but he stays alive at 0-2. Middle of the order here for the Panthers, now into the back end of it here in the top of the second inning. Well on the board with the hit by pitch, then Ruiz and Jarvis before they'll turn things over to the top of the order again. This one popped up. Once again, Battelle ranging over towards the fence, but this one's about 4 rows deep into the seats and out of play.
Of course, Ruiz hitting .268 this season, 15 for 56, so not as many at-bats as you would see from a normal starting player throughout the year. He only made 16 appearances this season for the Kitchener Panthers.
Dos Santos checks. Now this one to the plate, up high, but Ruiz once again fouling it off, staying alive.
That was more of an excuse me, it's going to hit the bat, I'm just going to put it out of play kind of situation there if you're Humberto Ruiz. Lucky it didn't hit him in the hand.
And now again here, Ruiz really battling here against De Los Santos with another foul ball. Plate umpire going to get a couple of fresh ones.
I believe that's 5 straight foul balls, Noah.
Strike one looking, and then you're right, 5 straight foul balls here to Humberto Ruiz. Now he comes inside, goes right behind him, all the way to the backstop. Ranging over to second is Whalen now. On the count, that moves to 1-2.
I think Whalen was thinking about third there for a second.
So a wild pitch charge to Pedro de los Santos. And you know what? At that point, it at least breaks up the foul ball streak to Ruiz. Unfortunately, Whalen moves up to second on that play with nobody out here. The Panthers already in a good spot to try and score. And now Ruiz crushes one down the line, but it's going to hook and go foul.
I think if anything, that wild pitch kind of keeps Ruiz off the plate a little bit more than where he was.
6 foul balls now in the at-bat. Count still 0-2 in favor. No, pardon me, 1-2 after the wild pitch. This one hit into center field. Ranging in Austin Wilkie. He'll make the catch. Whalen will stay where he is at second. And there's one gone.
But he did his job. If you're Humberto Ruiz, yes, you fly out to center, but that's a 9-pitch at-bat running up the pitch count on Pedro de los Santos.
And now we'll get a visit from the London Majors manager, Roop Chanderdad, out here to talk things over with Pedro. Pitch count after that fly out, up to 31 for Pedro here in the early going. But they just want to chat things over here.
Yeah, not a bad thing to do. Just get your message across, figure out your defensive alignment on the infield, and of course you're going up against Jet Jarvis, who has probably been one of, if not the best nine-hole hitter in the IBL this year. And once you finish with him, you got all that power right after that. So that chat's just really, okay, how are we attacking the next few batters here?
Dos Santos ready to face Jet Jarvis here. And the first pitch to him is going to miss. 1-0 here. Jarvis, of course, sitting in the 9-hole, bottom of the order, but almost acts, and obviously by design, as a second leadoff hitter.
And that's definitely been the strategy from Bill Matish, the field manager for the Kitchener Panthers all season long. Jarvis actually was the leadoff man in Game 1, reverted back to the number 9 position in Game 3.
He's going to get a lot of this one, hit it out to center field, but it's going to hang up in the air. Wilkie makes the catch, possibly trying to test the arm. Is Whalen, but it was right on the money from Austin Wilkie to hold Whalen at second.
Great job by Austin Wilkie right there. Recognized the situation immediately, just threw it right over toward third base as soon as he got it into the glove, and keeps Stephen Whalen over at second base. Just a really good, accurate throw.
So back to the top of the order here for Kitchener. Elliot Curtis is 0 for 1 so far in the ball game, but now he's got a chance to get that run in for the Panthers, who would hate to see a runner stranded out at second base. First pitch breaking ball on the inside and called a strike. Curtis ready. And that one will just miss down and away.
Trying to pick that bottom corner was Pedro de los Santos there. Again, just trying to take the power out of the bat of Elliot Curtis, because once he gets some momentum, he can hit the ball pretty hard.
Checks again, but that one also falling out of the bottom of the zone. 2-1 here to Curtis.
Yeah, batting .324 this season. Of course, missed a few games after he was injured on a weird play at third base at Christie Pitts.
And now a third straight wide one from De Los Santos after getting ahead to start the at-bat. It's now 3-1.
Yeah, sooner or later, one of these balls are going to have to go down the heart of the plate, and you're going to have to challenge Curtis a little bit here.
Not that one, though. He'll miss with ball 4. And that'll put runners at first and second here with 2 outs in the inning. And you're starting to get into the part of the order here where you don't want to be putting guys on with 2 out. Andy Leader comes to the plate. Took a 1-out walk in the first inning. And now he's going to hit one off the end of the bat, but the shortstop, Tommy Reyes-Cruz, is there to make the grab and get the Majors out of the top of the second inning. The Panthers get something going, but they can't score the run from second. Here it's a 1-0 lead as we head to the bottom of the second.
That's a big hold by the London Majors right there. Yes, you do hit Stephen Whalen to lead things off, but you get a couple of flyouts. You keep Whalen over at second base. You end up losing Elliot Curtis, but Andy Leader, again, as you saw there, just kind of got it a little bit more in on the hands when he took that swing. Not as much power as he would like, and Tommy Reyes-Cruz making the good catch to finish things off.
Majors looking to try and find the tying run here in the bottom of the second inning. There's a look at Pedro de los Santos in the London Majors dugout as we head to the bottom half of the second inning. Not the only game in the Intercounty Baseball League tonight. 2 other games on tap as we check out the out-of-town scoreboard here. Toronto is in Guelph taking on the Royals. Royals got out to an early 2-0 lead. Toronto has clawed back, got a run on the board. It's a 2-1 ball game at Hastings Stadium in Guelph. The other game going on tonight outside of London is Barrie and Hamilton, and it's the Baycats with a 1-0 lead.
Yeah, Barrie, that 1-0 lead, courtesy of a Ryan Rio sac fly. The other game, though, in Guelph, how about that pitching matchup? Alvarado versus Custodio.
Nothing better than a nice little Custodio-Alvarado matchup on a Tuesday.
On a Tuesday. Of course, Custodio is also DHing for the Guelph Royals tonight. Already has a hit in this in the ball game over at Hastings Stadium, too.
Eduardo Deolio will be the leadoff man here in the bottom of the second inning for London, who finds themselves trailing 1-0 here in the early going of this ball game. Yadier Martinez back out to the mound here. Surrendered just the one hit in the first inning, but was able to get out of the jam. Martinez ready as he grabs his sign here and delivers to DeOlio, who a little bit of an excuse me swing for strike one.
And, of course, there were some questions coming into this series on how healthy Eduardo DeOlio was going to be. Yes, you didn't see him in the first half of Game 1, but comes back into Game 2, comes back on Sunday as well, and looks actually really well.
Pitch off the plate there. Count 1-1, evens up here to DeOlio.
Batting .400 here in this series, 4 for 10, all of them singles.
And he fouls that one off at the plate, 1-2. DeOlio, a big power threat, of course. Trying to get something going to start the inning here for the Majors, though, in the bottom of inning number 2.
Yeah, I witnessed that power full on. 4 home runs from Eduardo DeOlio in that game on July 30th.
Just off the plate to him there. Ball 2 moves the count to 2-2.
And I think even that game really worked him into the conversation of, is he one of the better catchers in the league? I know in the broadcasters vote, there's a swing and a miss. And yeah, he is going to go down on strikes. But in that broadcaster vote that we had, Noah, Eduardo DeOlio got a lot of votes, and I really feel that one game really propelled him into that conversation.
Well, DeOlio finished the regular season with 13 home runs, which, of course, was behind the leader Duncan, but DeOlio only played 27 games throughout the course of the season. So had he been healthy, had he played the entire course of the regular season for London, that number could have been a lot higher. One gone after the strikeout to DeOlio, and now Josh Williams will stroll to the plate here for London. And a big cut from him, but he swings right through it, and he falls behind in the count.
Yeah, the only difference from Game 3 to Game 4 here tonight really is in that DH position.
Off the plate to Williams. Martinez with the fastball there to the big lefty.
Yeah, Will Pollard DH'd on Sunday, and Josh Williams obviously DHing here tonight.
Took something off that one and fooled Williams. It's 1-2. Majors, of course, without their big slugger, big bopper, Cleveland Brownlee. No word on any possible return for him. Martinez to the plate, and a swing and a miss. Gets Williams on strike as well, and there's 2 gone.
And it's really unfortunate to see with Cleveland Brownlee. Again, seeing him on Sunday, he had his hand wrapped up tightly. There was no indication that he's going to play again here in 2023, just based on how tightly that was wrapped.
Jordan Shulafan will come to the plate here for London after 2 straight strikeouts to begin the inning for Yadier Martinez. Righty ready and delivers a fastball up and in. A little bit of a backup there to Shulafan, who falls or gets ahead in the count, 1-0. Curveball this time, slipped out of the hand, and maybe Ibarra crossed up a little bit there as he took a second to come out front of the plate before throwing it back to Martinez.
But just good positioning there by Ibarra. Of course, you have the Cuban pitcher, you have the Cuban catcher. Very good communication between these two. We've seen it all season.
Wow, and for the first time tonight, we'll get our ball 4 chant from the ball flowers down in the 4th row here at Labatt Park. And Martinez responds with one right down Broadway.
Absolutely.
What better way to come back from 3-0?
Silence the crowd just in a heartbeat right there. Oh, no, never mind.
They love to come right back with it, though, here. They're still looking for the walk. This one swung on and missed from Shulafan. Moves the count to 3-2. So a great battle back here by Martinez. Looking for another strike here and work his way back from 3-0.
And had that off-speed stuff The first 3 pitches of this at bat, he's just been throwing heat down the middle.
The 3-2 fouled back and out of play.
Took a little bit off of that last pitch, did Martinez, but again, I think he's going to spend the rest of this at bat at least. It seems like he's not afraid to challenge the batter, and that's the kind of mentality that you need on the hill.
Work with the fastball till they prove they can beat you. And now Martinez calling for Ibarra, maybe for a new ball, perhaps. I think that's the case here.
It's always intriguing to see the preferences with certain baseballs, the feel that you get out of them, which one you'd prefer to throw over the other.
And now it's Jordan Schulafan going back to the dugout. I'm not sure if he's looking for some pine tar. Martinez takes this chance to play some catch with Marcel Lacasse over at third base. And after a little bit of a delay, we're ready for another 3-2. Ibarra with the sign, Martinez the delivery, and fouled back again by Schulafan.
Pitch number 7 of the at-bat. Again, running up that pitch count. Saw what these two pitchers were able to do on Friday night. Try to take them out of the ball game as quickly as possible.
Popped up sky high, foul territory. Ibarra back on the grass, and he makes the catch behind home plate to retire the side. It's a 1-2-3 inning for Yadier Martinez and the Panthers here in the bottom of inning number 2. We're through 2 here at Labatt Memorial Park. Kitchener 1, London nothing here in Game 4.
Here we go.
Believe me, you've never heard a talk show like this.
I'm sleeping with Joe Carter. By the way, Joe did not touch them all.
Yeah, I have to say, your voice is fantastic.
Meet Smitty.
Listen, I'm the brains here.
And Mitty.
And I'm the good-looking funny one.
This is the Smitty Mitty Show.
Catch new episodes of the Smitty and Mitty Show wherever you get your podcasts.
You're watching London Majors Baseball on MajorsTV.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Get started at Planet Fitness today through the free PF app, online, or in-club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
Planet Fitness is a proud partner of your London Majors.
Back here at Labatt Memorial Park here as we get ready to begin the top of the 3rd inning. Is that a mascot, Mark? What do we got sitting in the first row?
I do not know.
Someone bringing a friend to the ballpark here on a Tuesday night, enjoying Game 4 here of the Intercounty Baseball League quarterfinals. I think that's a first.
I think so. That's the first I've ever seen of one of those. I'm no, Steve Irwin, of course, late great Steve Irwin, but I believe that's a raccoon.
Okay, I was going to say a raccoon, but I wasn't sure if I was going in the
spotted eye raccoon.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if I was going in the right direction there or not, so usually I try to just stay away when I'm unsure, as that one misses inside. Pedro de los Santos back out to the hill here for the Majors to begin the top of the 3rd inning. That last pitch for him, Mark, number 41 here in the start so far. Number 42 will miss as well, and he falls behind 2-0.
And again, you credit that Humberto Ruiz 9-pitch at bat. That's really the highlight so far when it comes to just those long at bats and really just trying to see what De Los Santos has.
3-0 now. That one also falling behind, and now that one is there for a strike, so he gets back into it now at 3-1.
Gonzalez batting .320 against the Majors during the regular season.
This one sliced in into the seats out of play. in favor of the Majors, and moves the count to 3-2. And a swing and a miss. Strikeout for De Los Santos, and there's one gone to begin the top of the third.
Seemed like Gonzalez was really hungry to just try to swing the bat there, but sometimes, I mean, that one was going to go over the heart of the plate anyway, but just missed.
So Liam Wilson now to the plate here for Kitchener. One gone in the inning. He'll try to get something started here for the Panthers.
And that was a big hit for Liam Wilson. Obviously was stranded on the base paths in the first inning, but just a guy that, he gets frustrated and he gets almost in his own head sometimes when he's going over.
Belts one, but well foul. And the count goes to 0-1.
But he knows in the back of his mind, at the very least, and that's with any good hitter anyways, you might be going over, but at the very least, get the ball, make some contact. At some point, that ball is going to drop.
The 0-1 delivery for Pedro is in the dirt to move the count to 1-1. It's tough as baseball's such a mental game,
It
right?
really is.
You leave the ballpark 0 for 4, you can at least feel a little bit better with yourself if, I barrel one up, or even if I put 4 in play, as opposed to, some light pop-ups or a strikeout here or there. That one misses. Count to 2-1 now.
And I feel like Kitchener's done a really good job this season of that. Most of their outs have been of the fly ball or the ground out variety. They were the team that struck out the least in the entire IBL this season, 315 strikeouts, compared to London in 7th at 387.
And that one just misses. 3 balls and a strike now. Wilson looking to find any way aboard here for the Panthers with 1 gone in the inning. Ahead in the count here, we'll look for one he can drive or try to find a way on board, and that one's across for a strike. Looked like a breaking ball from De Los Santos.
And that's just a good challenging ball on Wilson. It looked like Wilson was waiting on it, thought it was going to break inside, but just a good pitch from De Los Santos there.
De Los Santos ready. This one hit on the ground, third base. Picked up Battelle. Strong throw across the diamond is in time to record the out, and there's quickly 2 gone here in the top of the third.
Not a bad at-bat if you're Liam Wilson. But, again, you make the contact. It's that soft contact going over to third base, and you're back on the bench.
First pitch is going to be inside. Gets all the way to the backstop there as it got away from DeOlio. Junior Ibarra, the batter here for Kitchener, with 2 outs to try and see if he can start something. Curveball just missing. A little bit of an extra hold there from DeOlio as well. He thought it caught the plate, but it misses to move the count to 2-0.
Including that first at-bat, 6 for 10 in this series is Junior Ibarra.
And now 3-0 to him here. Of course, he'll take any way aboard here, even with 2 outs in the inning. That one is there for a strike.
And he thought he was going to walk there.
Ibarra was all the way over to the left-hand batter's box before he had to make his way back. And now we'll get ready to face the 3-1 from De Los Santos. That one's there for a strike. And now the count moves to full at 3-2.
And just good patience by De Los Santos, not worrying too much about the count, just throwing across the plate and try to get some strikes.
And a swing and a miss. Strikeout for Pedro De Los Santos as he works back from a 3-0 count, and he gets through the top of the third inning.
And that's huge. A 1-2-3 inning for the London Majors. Didn't work up the pitches too much. And now the London Majors have a chance to perhaps tie this game.
Well, the Majors will look to try and see if they can get any offense going. A big strikeout there. Pedro de los Santos is sensing that he's starting to get settled in a little bit. And now the Majors will go to a quick meeting out front of the dugout there. Maybe just to try and fire up the bats here.
And again, you look at the body of work for Pedro de los Santos after that first inning. You know, hit Stephen Whalen with a pitch, walked Elliott Curtis, but otherwise just getting the outs that he needs to get. Not worrying about that one run on the board. It's only the one run. Anything can happen in the IBL. But I think this is going to start turning more and more into a pitcher's duel, as it seems like both pitchers are starting to settle in a little bit more.
So Martinez ready here, finishing up his warm-up pitches, and we'll get set for the bottom half of the third inning. For London, it's 8-9-1. Kane McGee, Dan Battelle, and then back up to the top of the order for Austin Wilkie. And here is the stroll to the plate for Kane McGee to begin the bottom half of the third inning. London just the one hit so far. They'll look to try and get something going here in the third. As Yadier Martinez on the mound settles in here for Kitchener. The first pitch off the plate to McGee. 1 ball and no strikes.
Of course, McGee in his first year here, batting .289 this season. .250 here in the postseason, 2 for 8.
Got off to a slow start this regular season, then picked things up. Had a stretch of about 7 straight ball games where he picked up a hit.
Now, 1 for 5 in Game 3. That 1 for was in the 9th inning when London did already have the lead. Still making contact nonetheless.
Looks at that one right there for a strike on maybe the inner portion of the plate, 2-2.
And a good strategy by Martinez. Try to take the batter off of the plate.
McGee into right field for a base hit. Just past the outstretched glove of Whalen at second. And the Majors have their second hit of the ball game. This one leads off the bottom of the third.
Some good power shown there from Kane McGee, waiting on his pitch and just putting it in play.
So McGee aboard, and that'll bring up Dan Battelle. And the Panthers possibly reading into this will bring at least over at third base, Marcel Lacasse in on the grass. Protect against what could be a potential sacrifice bunt.
Fans reacting to that last pitch way upstairs. I haven't seen Martinez lose control of the baseball too much in this game tonight. Seems like he's been more or less dialed in to what he's been throwing here so far.
To the plate, Battelle chops it, and it's going to be a foul ball. That's a play by Ibarra to throw down to 2, but the count goes to 1-1 after the foul to Dan Battelle.
Well, better be safe than sorry if you're Junior Ibarra. Of course, a good throw over to second base, just kind of displaying, hey, I can get that ball over there pretty quickly.
2 pitches in the at-bat. We have not seen Battelle even try to square around yet, but Lacasse still remains in now a little bit further back, but still on the infield grass here, as Martinez will step off on the mound. Kane McGee at first, of course, does not run the best on the Majors, so you'd have to really get down a good sacrifice bunt to be able to get him up to second without a throw. Now this one is bunted at, offered over to first base, taking it and getting the out is Liam Wilson. So the sacrifice does work for the Majors, and Kane McGee's up to second base.
Good recognition by Liam Wilson. You know, that ball's coming straight for him, really. Knowing at that point, I'm not getting this guy at second. Let's just try to get this ball and get the guy over at first.
So Austin Wilkie will come to the plate now with McGee at second and one out here in the inning. For Martinez, the first time a batter has reached scoring position here tonight. And now Wilkie on the ground, up the middle, base hit. Into center field, McGee is going to go up to third base. The Majors play it station to station, but with one out here in the inning, they've got runners at the corners.
Good job by Austin Wilkie, recognizing very early in the count, knowing that Yadier Martinez might be challenging the strike zone here to maybe get up into the count. But Wilkie says, oh, no, I'm putting this one into the outfield.
So now Byron Reichstein will come to the plate, and with runners at first and third, one out here, double play is in order for the Panthers. Up the middle, Raul Gonzalez, Stephen Whalen will try to turn two if it's hit hard enough. Lacasse playing even with the bag at third as that one is swung right through by Reichstein, 0-1.
Of course, this series, London batting .214 with runners in scoring position. It is a little bit lower than what we saw during the regular season, but of course there was a lot more games to work with in the regular season, batting .302 with runners in scoring position.
Called a strike, and falling behind 0-2 now is Reichstein.
And that strike is 100% Junior Ibarra framing that. Phenomenal job by the Cuban catcher for the Kitchener Panthers there.
Some groans from the supporters in the front row as that one sailed across the outer edge of the plate. 0-2. And just missing again. Ibarra wanted that one. You could see the head shake there.
It's been that kind of series, Noah. I do recall on Sunday they had some trouble in the early goings trying to figure out the strike zone by home plate umpire in Game 3, Jamie Killingsworth, and there was a lot of head shaking in that game.
Reichstein swings through it, and he is going to be out there. Ball did get away, but with first base occupied, it's a strikeout for Martinez and a big one for a second out here in the inning.
Yeah, that is huge. Absolutely.
So Starling Joseph now with the runners remaining at the corners. 2 outs here. We'll look to try and find a big hit for the Majors.
Yeah, now you don't really have to focus on, let's try to get a ground ball into play and try to turn a double play. Now you can focus a little bit more just on the plate.
Joseph struck out his first time around. Healthy cut. This one's into shallow right center. Ranging in, leader. Calls off Jarvis, and he makes the catch. Majors had something going in the bottom of the third, but they can't get the runs across looking for that big hit. They'll strand a couple. It's a 1-0 Kitchener Panthers lead through 3 here at the ballpark. We'll continue on with our coverage here of Game 4 on MajorsTV after the break.
Go beyond the scores and get to know the athletes who call the Forest City home.
Joseph crushes one.
Game Day London brings you in-depth stories and conversations about London's major teams and the athletes. Whether it's in the rink with the Knights or on the field with the Majors, Game Day London has you covered from the start. For fresh and engaging sports coverage, visit GameDayLondon.com, a proud sponsor of MajorsTV.
You're watching London Majors Baseball.
London Majors Baseball. London Majors Baseball on MajorsTV.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Get started at Planet Fitness today through the free PF app online or in club and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
Planet Fitness is a proud partner of your London Majors.
And welcome back to Majors TV. We are live inside Labatt Memorial Park, getting set here for the top half of the fourth inning. Mark Pare alongside Noah Smith here on this beautiful Tuesday night under the lights. It is a 1-0 lead for the visiting Kitchener Panthers. That run coming back in the first inning. Pedro de los Santos on the hill here once again. It's Noah, for the most part, we have seen after that first inning, really, it's been kind of a chess match, if you will, between these two teams.
Yeah, the lone run of the ball game so far came across in the top of the first inning. Panthers got a hit, and then it was the infield single that actually ended up scoring the lone run that we've got so far tonight. But through 3 innings of work, both pitchers have battled each other very well. Pedro de los Santos is coming off probably what was his best inning so far in the top of the third, so we'll see how he settles in here in the top of the fourth.
He's retired his last 4 batters, walked Elliott Curtis before that, stranded a pair of runners in the second inning, getting that much-needed 1, 2, 3 in the third. We've seen that a couple of times, especially going back to Friday's game, Noah, where, a very low-scoring affair. That's where both of these teams, they would love to get a lot of runs onto the board, but for the most part, this chess match, it really has that playoff atmosphere to it. As Marcel Lacasse will step into the left batter's box here to begin the fourth inning. 0 for 1 in this ball game. Flew out into foul territory his last time up down the third base side. And the first offering is going to be swung on and missed for strike 1.
Next pitch here for Pedro de los Santos will be number 60 in the ball game for the Majors starter.
And there it is, going for ball 1. 1 ball and 1 strike.
A little bit elevated, not quite where he wants it to be at this point, but he's still in a good spot.
And there's another offering, a good hack from Lacasse there, swing and missed. So 1 ball, 2 strikes. De los Santos very quickly getting up in the count here. And that's just going to miss inside. Maybe trying to get Lacasse off the plate a little bit, but trying to pick the inside of the plate, but just couldn't get it there. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Here's the 2-2. And that one's going to go well into the dirt.
Got way up there to begin the at-bat, and now is falling behind a little bit, moves the count to full at 3-2.
Yeah, really dropping the positioning of the ball just lower and lower as this at-bat has been going on. Just challenging Lacasse. That one's inside, and ball 4 issued, and De Los Santos walks the leadoff batter here in the fourth.
Well, and for Pedro, that's his 3rd walk so far of the night. That's kind of been the worst part of his game in the ball game so far this evening. 3 walks for him, has put a few Panthers base runners aboard that he's been up in those too. It's not like he's fallen behind 3-0 and walk guys. For the most part, he's been in those at-bats and then has fallen behind.
Squared on by Stephen Whalen there. It's going to be fouled away. And you're right, Noah. He's been well into it in every at-bat, it seems, here is Pedro de los Santos. It's just the game of inches. That's the way it's been here in this ball game. Just trying to get, maybe doing a little bit too much. Fans get loud. The 0-1 is going to go and miss 1 ball and 1 strike.
Not a bad spot there for De Los Santos at the bottom of the zone, but a great take by Whalen. Squared around the bunt the first time and bunted it foul. Didn't look like he even thought about it that time of the round, but the Majors still playing him fairly in here to protect against it.
The 1-1 trying to square it up again. We haven't seen Whalen bunt all that much this season. You know, usually a free swinger. Does strike out quite a bit. It was 3 strikeouts in game 1 of this series.
Well, maybe that's where you're getting the sense that on both sides of the diamond tonight, that coaches are looking at one another. They're saying maybe we're going to have to try to move guys over. We're not going to get, 5-6 runs tonight. This might be a low-scoring contest.
Yeah, just try to get guys in a scoring position, get the power going. And there's a swing and a miss. Strike 3. Whalen goes down 1 away here in the 4th.
Well, and Whalen had a couple of chances there to bunt and move the runner Lacasse over to second base. Failed on both of those chances and then went down on strikes. So 1 gone here. De Los Santos works back and gets that big first out. And now with 1 out here, he's still dealing with the runner at first base, but he's a ground ball away from getting out of the inning.
Yeah, that's a big out if you're Pedro De Los Santos. Try to get a ball in play. And there's a big strike 1 painting the corner right in the bottom of the strike zone there on Humberto Ruiz, the left fielder. Of course, as you recall, the 9-pitch at bat is last time up. As both get reset here. De Los Santos checks over. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. No ball, 2 strikes here on Ruiz.
Ruiz, as you mentioned, his first time at the plate, had a fantastic battle. Fouled off 5 straight pitches before a wild pitch, and then a few more foul balls to add to it.
Yeah, a lot of souvenirs for the fans here at Labatt Memorial Park. A couple of them would have to go chasing into the trees. And he makes contact there into center field and caught on the run by Austin Wilkie, 2 away.
Well, and he put a good swing on that one on 0-2, but right to the center fielder, Austin Wilkie, who takes the line drive and retires Ruiz for the second out.
And he didn't have to move all too much. Yes, he was on the run, but Wilkie saw that one right off the bat, it seemed. So Jed Jarvis, the right fielder, up now. He flew out to center field his last time up. Wilkie's been extra busy out there in the outfield here tonight as Jarvis squares up to bunt but holds away. 1 ball and no strikes.
Pedro here continues to work at a quick pace. He's always been a guy that gets the ball back and he's ready to go again. Slows down a little bit with runners on base, but still continues with that quick working pace.
Yeah, he doesn't need no pitch count here in the IBL. He doesn't need a clock to tell him how quickly to pitch. So top of the 4th, runner on first. 2 balls, no strikes here on Jarvis. The delivery. Swing and a miss for strike 1.
Lefty on lefty matchup is tough with that curveball from De Los Santos, the off-speed pitch.
A lot of cut, that's for sure. But Jarvis 0 for 11 in this series, 0 for 12 including tonight as he makes contact there, fouled away just in behind the Majors dugout.
Well, and we go back to what we were talking about earlier on in the ball game about how the Panthers have a number of bats in their lineup tonight that just have not got it going through the first 3 games and now into Game 4 of this series.
And that is not a good thing for the high-powered offense that this team has. There's a swing and a miss. DeOlio will throw over to first to complete the strikeout, and that will do it here in the top half of the 4th. So Pedro de los Santos walks the leadoff batter and Marcel Lacasse, but he goes 1-2-3 after that. It remains 1-0 London as we head to the bottom half of the fourth inning.
Well, another great inning of work there for Pedro de los Santos. Keeps this a 1-0 ball game. Majors still chasing, of course. They're going to have to try to get the bats going themselves as we head to the bottom half of the fourth, as you mentioned. Kitchener leading 1-0 here in London, and Yadier Martinez back out to the mound. No surprise there for the Panthers.
Not at all. 50 pitches into this game. Yadier Martinez just giving up. Well, he's given up 3 hits, 2 of them happening in that last inning, but got out of the jam after that. But again, you give up those 3. Everything else has been pretty solid from the Cuban hurler here for Kitchener.
3 games in the Intercounty Baseball League tonight here, Mark, and as we touched on, those games ongoing. But here's a look at the bracket right now. One team has punched their ticket around 2. That's the Welland Jackfish up in the top left of your screen there. A 3-0 sweep over the Brantford Red Sox. Here, of course, London leads 2-1 over the Panthers. Big game 4 here tonight. Toronto 2-1 over Guelph, and Barrie 2-1 over Hamilton. A chance for 3 series to end tonight.
Absolutely, and this is very un-Claudio Custodio-like. He has been brought out of the ball game in Guelph tonight. He has given up 6 runs on the 1 hit. He's out after 1 2/3, only 1 strikeout. He's walked 4. Toronto leading 7-3 at Hastings Stadium in the 3rd inning. So Guelph really finding themselves in a bit of trouble. Meantime, Barrie up 4-0 on Hamilton as the Baycats try to close out that series. As that one's knocked down the line right to Liam Wilson. And he'll touch the bag, 1 away, just like that.
Well, and that was hit so hard to first base. Tommy Reyes-Cruz didn't get out of the batter's box before he started making his way back towards the Majors bench.
That'll save him some energy. Now Eduardo De Olio up, struck out his last time up. One of 5 strikeout victims from Yadier Martinez here tonight. And there's one that picks the top corner for strike 1.
5-pitch strikeout to De Olio his first time around. Was able to get a few foul balls, but really didn't look like he picked up on Martinez very well the first time around.
On the second time here, you've seen Yadier Martinez a little bit more. You've seen what he's offering, his off-speed stuff, his heat across the heart of the plate. This is where you're probably going to start seeing, guys making a little bit more contact with the baseball. No balls, 2 strikes, and De Olio fouls that one off the end of the bat.
Stays alive there, keeps the count at 0-2. Martinez here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Pitch count, this next one at 55. So he's put himself in a pretty good spot after a little bit of a start where he threw a few too many pitches.
There's a hit over to second base, over to first, and in time they'll get De Olio on the 4-3. A hard hit ball over to second base, and a good job by Stephen Whalen to field that.
Whalen charged in immediately on this baseball and ended up having to kind of throw across the body a little bit, contort himself just a tad to make the throw, but fortunately for him, De Olio coming down the line, he had a little bit of time to make that throw on the money, get the out, and a big second out here for the Panthers here in the bottom half.
Yeah, recognized where the ball was right off the bat, and no hesitation from Stephen Whalen. Plays collegiately at the University of Waterloo. That one's on the outside, just missing for ball number 1 on Josh Williams, the designated hitter. And Yadier Martinez, another throw there. That one's into the dirt. Quickly the count, 2 balls, no strikes, as it seems like Martinez is also kind of getting into that mentality of, okay, let's get these pitchers going here. Swing and a miss, strike 1. Not too much time in between pitches here either for Mr. Martinez.
Well, as a fan, as anyone watching the game, that's something you like to see. Keeps things rolling.
And there's Strike number 2 on the outside corner. The fan's not a fan of that call from home plate umpire Jeff Rose.
And I think in that case as well, a little bit fooled by the delay on the call.
And Ibarra trying to frame that one up right in the same position, but he's just going to smile that one off with the count now full on Mr. Williams. That's all you really can do in a situation like that. If you don't get the call, just smile and move on. The 3-2, and he got him. And a big fist bump from Yadian Martinez, a 1-2-3 inning. And it remains 1-0 Kitchener as we head to the top half of the 5th. Stay with us. We are live from Labatt Memorial Park on Majors TV.
Here we go.
Believe me, you've never heard a talk show like this.
I'm sleeping with Joe Carter. By the way, Joe did not touch the ball.
Yeah, I have to say, like, your voice is fantastic.
Meet Smitty.
Listen, I'm the brains here.
And Mitty.
And I'm the good-looking funny one.
This is the Smitty Mitty Show.
Catch new episodes of the Smitty and Mitty Show wherever you get your podcasts.
You're watching London Majors Baseball on Majors TV.
Welcome back to Majors TV. We are live at Labatt Memorial Park. Pedro de los Santos looking to get things started here in the 5th. It's 1-0 Kitchener. Here in Game 4 of this best-of-5 IBL Quarterfinal Series.
That run came back in the top of the first inning.
Yes,
and
it
since
did.
then, it has been zeros on the board for both of these starters. And quite the ball game we've been treated to so far.
Yeah, it really feels like with both of these pitchers, they age very well. They start off, there's maybe a little bit of a hiccup in the beginning, but as they kind of find their way, they get their pitches in, they are challenging the strike zone. It seems like they're getting better and better as this game goes along, and they're getting the strikeouts as well. So it's not necessarily, hey, guys are just making contact and you're getting good luck by just being in the right position. You got some really good pitchers going here in the best time of the year. So Elliot Curtis due up here for the Kitchener Panthers. It's the top of the order for the visitors here in the 5th. Elliot Curtis, Andy Leader, and Raul Gonzalez. Combined, they're 0-for in this ball game, though. So just looking to get some balls in play, though. Andy Leader and Elliot Curtis have both walked once in this ball game. As there's strike 1, Curtis makes contact with that. Reyes Cruz over to first in time, 1 away.
And a quick out there begins the inning for Pedro de los Santos. That one grounded over to Tommy Reyes Cruz, who fields it nicely and gets the first out. And de los Santos right back into his groove here on the top of the 5th inning. Oh, man, both of these pitchers have been into that groove lately.
Yes, they have. Again, it just feels like a repeat of Game 2 where these two guys are settling in nicely. Andy Leader, the batter now. 0-for-1 in this ball game. Walked and came across the score back in the first inning. Quickly, though, the count 0-1 against the Kitchener native. And he makes contact there. That's going to go into right center field. A base hit here for Andy Leader with 1 away. That's what Andy Leader likes to do. Finished off the season on a 23-game hitting streak. Just a consistent hitter on this team. And you put him into that second spot, and you got Gonzalez and Wilson behind him with power. That's where you're seeing a lot of the runs with the Kitchener Panthers this season. Speaking of Gonzalez, he is up here now, and first pitch he sees, he makes contact into right field. It's going to drop foul, though. No balls, 1 strike against the shortstop.
That was going to be a tough play for anybody to make down the right field line in foul territory. With Gonzalez at the plate, Reichstein in right field's played a little bit too deep to get that one. Schulafan had a long way to run, and then McGee, well, he had to turn 180 and run straight back. So he wasn't going to make that catch. It falls in no man's land for a foul ball and strike one for De Los Santos, who now up over the 80 pitch mark here into the 5th inning.
The delivery downstairs, and DeOlio keeps that in front of him. 1 ball and 1 strike. Yeah, McGee was more or less trying to keep Leader on board, staying on first base.
Leader with the lefty here. His lead just to the cut of the grass.
That's inside. Trying to find the inside corner, but just missed as De Los Santos. 2-1. And yeah, that's that difference when you're facing a lefty versus a righty. You find you have a little bit more liberty when you're trying to think about trotting over to second base, as Gonzalez will make big contact with that. Playable in the outfield. Wilkie will call off Joseph and make the catch. Just like that, 2 away.
Was able to get that one into the air, but underneath it a tad, Gonzalez, and flew it out to center field where Austin Wilkie made the catch.
And
he's been active tonight in center, Wilkie.
Yes, he has.
Gonzalez, I think, just missed that pitch. It was one I think he wanted too.
Oh, yeah. That was the 4th fly out to center field by the Kitchener Panthers. So Wilkie definitely getting in his steps out in center.
Now with 2 gone here in the inning, it'll bring Liam Wilson to the plate for the Panthers. And they're trying to pick up something here with the runner at first base.
And Wilson will foul that one away to lead things off. He hit a single back in the 1st inning. Ibarra hitting a single right after Wilson in the 1st. That's what drove in Leader for the opening run of this ball game. But again, we talked about it. Wilson has struggled in this postseason as he takes one upstairs. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Yeah, back in the 1st inning, it was a walk and then a 2-out single that moved runners to the corners before the infield single scored the lone run that we've had so far this evening.
De Los Santos checks over at first base. Here's the 1-1. Wilson gets some contact, but it's going to go into left field and caught by Starling Joseph, and that will retire the side. It remains 1-0 Kitchener as we head to the bottom half of the 5th inning. But that pitch count, again, you talked about it, Noah. It's getting up there for Pedro De Los Santos. How much more of a leash do you have on him?
Well, exactly, and this is kind of getting to the point of the ball game for Pedro De Los Santos and then Yadier Martinez as well on the Panthers side of things, where at least up here in us up here in the broadcast booth, and certainly fans down in the seats, they start to look down towards the bullpens. They start to look to see if any moves are going to be made. We haven't seen anything yet.
No, we have not.
Pedro De Los Santos, you would like to think that Roop Chanard's going to try to keep him going through another inning or 2 if possible. And Yadier Martinez, his pitch count's even lower, so they're not even thinking about the bullpen yet on the Kitchener Panthers first base side.
Well, based on Sundays as any indication, Roop's going to have a long leash on some of his starters. Of course, Owen Boone completing Game 1. Of course, he started on Thursday, completed the 9-inning affair on Sunday, going 6 innings in the tail end of Game 1, 114 pitches, and then follows that up with 4 innings to start Game 3, 70 pitches in that. As we said, 151 pitches total. De Los Santos, definitely a different cat. But, again, 87 pitches and no movement in the bullpen. You start to think, okay, who's actually going to be available for this game? Do you start to think about, just going for it, or do you think about, okay, I might need to save arm A or arm B in a potential Game 5 situation?
Well, you've always got to have that thought in the back of your head. Obviously, for the Majors, for the Panthers, this is a win-now game. Both teams are gunning for the win. And whatever it takes, I have no doubt that they're going to want to go ahead and try and do that. But you do have to, in the back of your head, keep that thought there. What if tomorrow? I do have to have someone available.
Absolutely. No ball, one strike here on Jordan Schulafand. Makes contact there. Quickly the count 0-2. Bottom of the order due up here for the London Majors. Schulafand. Behind him on deck is Kane McGee. After that, in the hole, Dan Battelle.
And this is where the Majors will need to try and find some success against Martinez. Try and see if they can turn it over to the top of the order with some base runners, maybe some hits here at the bottom half of the order.
Yeah, they need some base runners here. Yes, you got a guy over to third base in the third inning, but other than that, that's the only runner that's been in scoring position for the London Majors all game. The 1-2 in for ball 2. Of course, Martinez has retired his last 5, including a pair of strikeouts. He's got 6 Ks on the night. As it looks like Schulafand called for time momentarily there. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The offering is going to go over to shortstop. Gonzalez to first in time. 1 away.
Oh, nice ground ball fielded perfectly over at short by Raul Gonzalez. And there's 1 gone to begin the inning. Martinez has done a good job. Him and Pedro de los Santos, the only difference between the two right now has been the walks, and that's Martinez has not walked a batter for the Majors so far. That resulting in, of course, more base runners for Kitchener. And one of those 3 walks that de los Santos has surrendered is the lone run of the ballgame.
Yeah, other than that, again, you talk about de los Santos and what he's done since giving up that run in the first inning. Hit one batter, walked another, walked 2, I should say. As there's some big contact made by Kane McGee into left center field and caught by Humberto Ruiz just in front of the warning track. That was a hard hit ball from Kane McGee. Just couldn't do anything with it.
Yeah, Ruiz tracked that one down and made the catch out in left field. And I don't know about you, Mark. Obviously, we're looking here at some wind. It's a little bit cooler here tonight, but that fly ball by McGee, the fly out for the Panthers in the top half, those looked like they were rocketed pretty good, and both of them kind of caught up in the air a little bit and were knocked down for the outfielders.
Yeah, well, I mean, you look at that fly out by Gonzalez, as that one's going to be fouled away from Dan Battelle. Again, just seemed like he got a little bit more underneath the baseball than maybe Kane McGee did there at that last at-bat. But again, both hard hit balls, a lot of power in behind them. Had a couple of guys thinking, hey, this might go all the way to the warning track, maybe over the fence, just with. So 1 ball, 1 strike here on Dan Battelle, the third baseman. The offering is going to go outside, 2-1. Now, again, you think about Jack Couch Park, those 2 balls might be out of here.
Yeah. You are playing in a bigger ballpark here at Labatt Park. And with that, the fielders have the luxury of playing back a little bit, tracking down those long and deep fly balls.
It's a matter of who can get adjusted to the different dimensions the quickest. 2 balls, 2 strikes here for Dan Battelle.
Now time called on the field there. Trying to catch everybody's attention down there at first base.
Yeah, I'm not too sure what happened
Mike
there.
Kinnear, the first base umpire. A ball came over the fence out in right field. Of course, we know that the youngsters like to play around out there, and I think Jet Jarvis out there in right saw a ball come up around his feet area.
On the hands of Dan Battelle, made contact with it, but good job by Gonzalez to recognize it. And finishes off yet another 1-2-3 inning. The Kitchener Panthers continue to lead Game 4 by a score of 1-0. 6th inning coming up next. Stay with us. You are watching live here at Labatt Memorial Park, Majors TV.
I want to ride this pony, but I suffer from low E.
Millions of people are suffering from low energy, commonly known as low E.
Low E has hurt my performance in the bedroom. I haven't been able to make the bed in years.
Now there's hope. Planet Fitness replaces low E with Big E, which keeps you energized and glowing all day. Simply join through the free PF app for only $15 a month.
Planet Fitness is a proud partner of your London Majors.
You're watching.
Here's the pitch. Joseph drills it to right center field. That ball's going back to the warning track, to the wall. Goodbye, baseball. Starling Joseph, a 2-run home run.
London Majors Baseball on MajorsTV.
Welcome back to Majors TV. We are live at Labatt Memorial Park on this beautiful Tuesday night, Game 4 of this best-of-5 IBL Quarterfinal Series. If the London Majors win, they go to round 2 to take on the top-ranked Welland Jackfish. If the Kitchener Panthers win here tonight, we got fifth heaven, I guess you can call it.
Fifth heaven? Is that? We'll call it that.
We'll call it fifth
Trademark.
heaven. I've been making
Mark
up words all season long. Prevening being one of them. Now tonight, fifth heaven. That's what the Kitchener Panthers want. Of course, Game 5 would go tomorrow night from Jack Couch Park, a 7:30 first pitch. But London, they don't want to get there. But if they truly don't want to get there, they got to start getting some runs on the board and really try to figure out Yadian Martinez, who has been really well, who's done really well here tonight.
3 hits assigned for both of these clubs, and while you see the umbrellas out, Mark, that's because there is some rain starting to fall here at Labatt Park. Not a good sign here. There was some rain in the forecast, although I was checking out the radar a little bit prior to first pitch tonight, and it looked like it was pushed back a little bit, closer towards 10:30, 11 o'clock.
Well, Mother Nature works in mysterious ways, Noah.
So some of the fans down the third and first base line start to make their way towards cover here at the main grandstand.
They're made of sugar. Of course they're going over. There's strike 1 on Junior Ibarra, the leadoff batter here for the Kitchener Panthers. Still going on here. The 0-1 contact made, but fouled away by Ibarra there. 0-2 now.
Fans scared of the rain out there. We say tucked into our cozy press box here.
Exactly. Who are we to criticize? And there's more contact made, fouled away by Ibarra again. Should mention as well that in terms of rain delays and cancellations, all playoff games are played to completion. It's not like the regular season where, you get 6 innings in and you get a thunderstorm in, they're just going to call the game and say it's a final. The 0-2 downstairs. 1-2 the count now. So if a game cannot be completed on the scheduled day, it shall be suspended and completed as soon thereafter as possible. And there's a swing and a miss. Strike 3. De Los Santos gets Ibarra to lead off the 6th.
Well, we won't go as too far as to talk about what would happen if we did get some rain tonight that caused some issues in the scheduling, but
and there's only one other game in this series. You push that one ahead. I'm sure London would not like to play, well, maybe with the way they've been playing at Jack Couch Park this series.
Yeah.
Maybe get those friendlier dimensions in. That one's going to go outside, ball 1. Of course, in the playoffs, it's the decision of the commissioner of when a date and time and location where a suspended game would resume. And there's strike 1 painting the inside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Here on Marcel Lacasse, he walked his last time up. De Los Santos offering. 1-2 now.
Well, that breaking ball has been so good for De Los Santos so far tonight. Came back with it again there with the swing and the miss to move the count to 1-2. Here on Marcel Lacasse.
And Lacasse makes contact there, fouled away. Stays alive in the count. 95 pitches for Pedro De Los Santos. 96 about to be thrown here. The 1-2. Blooper into left field, and that's going to be caught by Starling Joseph coming in. 2 away here in the 6th.
Well, just off the end of the bat there, and Joseph, who was playing about midway in left field, was able to range that one in fairly easily for the outs. And a big second out there for De Los Santos here in the top half of the 6th inning.
Reminded me of that Stephen Whalen hit in the 8th in Game 2. Just didn't seem like he got all of it, but just wanted to try and put it into a good position. And Whalen makes contact right into right field. Whalen gets it all the way over to the fence. He circles around first. He'll come in to second base standing up. A 2-out double for Stephen Whalen.
Well, and he ripped that baseball down the right field line over top of the first baseman, Kane McGee. And with that in right field, he had to play right in front of him as he rounded first base. He got about 1, maybe 2 strides past first before Brian Reichstein picked up that ball, and he knew that he had second base easily there, even with the strength of the Brian Reichstein arm in right field. A big 2-out double here for the Panthers puts them in business almost instantly here in the 6th.
And this is where they tend to do a lot of their damage. Not so much in this series, but with runners in scoring position and 2 out, Kitchener batting .367 on the regular season, batting .83 here in the playoffs. And that one's going to go downstairs on Humberto Ruiz. 1 ball and no strikes. The delivery, swing and a miss, good cut. 1 ball, 1 strike. Humberto Ruiz flown out to center field in both of his previous at-bats.
He's had a couple good swings so far tonight, just nothing that he's really barreled up. And, of course, right at the center fielder his last time.
Seems like he's doing a lot more fighting than actually trying to put the ball in play. Swing and a miss, strike 2. Of course, trying to fight off those pitches from De Los Santos, just trying to get them, get a barrel to the bat, even if it's just going to be fouled away. You saw that in his first at-bat. Not afraid of a working man's at-bat. The 1-2 makes contact. That's going to go into left field. Whalen circling around third. He's going to come in. Play at the plate. No play at the plate. Whalen comes in to score. It's 2-0 Kitchener. An RBI double from Humberto Ruiz.
Well, and they had him right where they wanted him on 1 and 2, but Pedro de los Santos now up over 100 pitches there on that one. Left it over the plates, and Ruiz made him pay. The RBI double, first run since the top of the first inning, and it's a 2-0 Panthers lead.
And now here comes Roop Chanderdat. This might be the hook for Pedro de los Santos. That pitch count going up.
What's the official on him, Mark? I have him at 102 here on my scorebook.
I do believe I have him at 101.
101, whatever it is for De Los Santos, it's up over 100 now. And warming up down in the London Majors bullpen. Try and get a number there. But I think it's Alex Springer throwing for the Majors down in the bullpen.
Yeah, that looks like Springer.
Lefty begins to loosen here for the Majors, and in a hurry as the rain continues to fall here at Labatt Park, albeit still lightly right now.
That's going to go and paint the outside. No ball, 1 strike on Jet Jarvis. And yeah, the rain's really starting to pick up a little bit more. You can see on the screen there. It's really coming down now. And De Los Santos, good placement there of the baseball again. Same spot, same call. No balls, 2 strikes.
Well, he's a good spot here. And once again, he's got to try and find that put-away pitch.
And swing and a miss. He got him. They strand the runner, but an RBI double from Humberto Ruiz makes it 2-0 Kitchener as we head to the bottom half of the 6th.
Well, it's a big run for the Panthers who get up 2-0 now as the rain begins to fall here at Labatt Park, sending the fans scrambling for cover of the main grandstand.
You have to wonder how much longer this game might be going before we go into a rain delay, and I think the tarp's going to start to come out here. Or the tarp at least looked like it was going to come out from the left side.
Well, here's the umpiring crew getting together, and I think they're going to they're at least going to have a conversation with the grounds crew. It hasn't got to the point yet, Mark, where the infield would be of any worry. The infield's not going to be wet or muddy yet.
No. If we were a Jack Couch, it would already be a flooding out there.
But they're having a conversation now about what to do.
And they're signaling to Roop. Roop came out. And it looks like that's Jeff Rose having a conversation with the London field manager.
Yeah, this continues. And I'm not sure exactly what the plan is going to be here.
Grounds crew coming out with something here. I think, yeah, we're probably going to go into a delay here. Or at least maybe doing some patching up.
Well, the tarps are coming out to the mound, and it looks like we are going to see a weather delay here in London in Game 4.
Which was kind of expected but not expected looking at the weather forecast coming into tonight's game. I think both of these two teams were bracing for it. They were hoping that maybe the weather would hold off until the end of this ball game. Maybe that's why you saw both pitchers going very quickly in between pitches.
We made a lot of progress in the hour and a half that we have been on the air here. But the tarps are coming on here at Labatt Memorial Park. We're going to take a quick break here on Majors TV. When we come back, we'll try to bring you an update here in Game 4.
I want to ride this pony, but I suffer from low E.
Millions of people are suffering from low energy, commonly known as low E.
Low E has hurt my performance in the bedroom. I haven't been able to make the bed in years.
Now there's hope. Planet Fitness replaces low E with Big E, which keeps you energized and glowing all day. Simply join through the free PF app for only $15 a month.
Planet Fitness is a proud partner of your London Majors.
You're watching.
Here's the pitch. Joseph drills it to right center field. That ball's going back to the warning track, to the wall. Goodbye, baseball. Starling Joseph, a 2-run home run.
London Majors Baseball on Major.
Here we go.
Believe me, you've never heard a talk show like this.
I'm sleeping with Joe Carter. By the way, Joe did not touch them all.
Yeah, I have to say, your voice is fantastic.
Meet Smitty.
Listen, I'm the brains here.
And Mitty.
And I'm the good-looking funny one.
This is the Smitty Mitty Show.
Catch new episodes of the Smitty and Mitty Show wherever you get your podcasts.
You're watching London Majors Baseball on Majors TV.
Go beyond the scores and get to know the athletes who call the Forest City home.
Joseph crushes one.
Game Day London brings you in-depth stories and conversations about London's major teams and the athletes. Whether it's in the rink with the Knights or on the field with the Majors, Game Day London has you covered from the start. For fresh and engaging sports coverage, visit GameDayLondon.com, a proud sponsor of Majors TV.
You're watching London Majors Baseball. London Majors Baseball.
London Majors Baseball on MajorsTV.
Back here at Labatt Memorial Park as we enter a rain delay for the second time in the series. Noah Smith, Mark Pare here at the Game Day London broadcast booth. As you get a look there, Mark, there's not much else to say. The tarps are on the field.
Yeah, absolutely.
The rain has begun to fall here over the last little bit here at Labatt Memorial Park and through the London area. And, well, we'll put it up on the screen, Mark. This is what we're looking at right now. This is the streamer that's kind of moving through the area. And I don't know. I'm not a meteorologist. I don't think we've got the worst of what we're supposed to get yet.
No, and you look at that strong system. That's in the red and the yellow. That's the strongest of this weather pattern that you're seeing moving westbound right through here in southern Ontario. You have to wonder what might be seen in Guelph and Hamilton. Those two games might see some of this weather and field those delays as well. All three games in the IBL this evening into Game 4. So might be a lot of work ahead for the head office for the Intercounty Baseball League on how they might get the rest of this game in if we don't have any more baseball being played here on a Tuesday night. And you can see on the screen right now the other two games. So far so good, it seems, when it comes to weather. Toronto 8, Guelph 4 at David E. Hastings Stadium in the Royal City. And then in the top half of the 6th, Barrie 4, Hamilton no score. That one just down there in the Hammer, down the 401, down Highway 6 South. But, yeah, rain. You got to love it.
Rain, yep. This is the joys. We have had a very wet kind of month of August in the back half of summer. And, we got blessed. A lot of fans wondering if this is kind of the norm, if they're new to watching the Intercounty Baseball League or anything here in southwestern Ontario. This is kind of the weather we usually get in May.
Yep.
Right. We got blessed with almost no cancellations through the month of May and June, but here they have come in July and now into August with playoff season.
It is not snowing right now.
The address announcer Eric Collins letting us know it's not snowing, which is good.
Don't use that S word around me. I am used to snow around this time of year. I do not like that word whatsoever when I'm thinking about baseball. But nonetheless, this is normal. I mean, I've been down here for about 5-6 years now, and yeah, this is usually what you would see here in the month of May. Kitchener, of course, they haven't been as lucky when it comes to rain delays. They've had a number of games rained out this season. We talked about Game 1. That one was getting rained out. I didn't even think Game 1 was going to be played. I didn't think anybody was going to get a Game 1 in on Thursday night with that big weather pattern that came through.
Well, here we sit in what was supposed to be going to the bottom half of the 6th inning here at Labatt Park in London. Panthers just picked up another big run for them to move to a 2-0 score on 2 hits in the top half of the inning, and that's when the rain started to fall. It got a little bit heavier, and the umpiring crew, the 4 of them got together. They talked to the grounds crew, they talked to the managers, and they decided to put the tarps on the field. Now, as we saw, we shouldn't have to remind everybody who's been watching the course of this series, Mark, if this game does get to the point where they can't play the rest of it tonight, they're going to have to finish this ball game, and that's likely going to mean either pushing tomorrow's game, which was scheduled to be in Kitchener, back a day and playing here at Labatt Park, or who knows what they're going to do. Really, the possibilities, I like to say, are endless.
Yeah, and I mean, it's all up to the commissioner, Ted Kelmans. The decision from the commissioner is deemed final and binding on the teams involved. The commissioner will talk with the teams involved in these rain delays, try to figure out what's best for both teams, whether, again, it's pushing the next couple of games over, whether it may be, having the finish of this game being played at Jack Couch Park ahead of a Game 5 potentially tomorrow night. Really, like you said, the possibilities are endless here.
Well, the good news is we are a little bit further along than when the rain hit in Game 1. So if they do have to play a game before a game, it would only be the last 3.5 innings here.
Yeah, and that's not bad. You can squeeze that in about an hour.
with the Game 1 having to be replayed prior to Game 3, that was almost 2 complete ball games with how much baseball got done before the rain hit in Game 1.
And I think in that sense, too, London had the 3-1 lead before the rain came thundering down in Kitchener on Thursday, but I think that really played into the hand of the London Majors in being able to use Owen Boone as much as London did. Again, going the 4 innings before the rain came down on Thursday, comes back on Sunday, starts and finishes technically Game 1, and then comes back for Game 2 on that 30-minute rest. It basically only turned into, a complete game plus an extra inning for Mr. Boone. Yes, 151 pitches, but it seemed like he was really, really on his game and allowed London to find their bats at the hitter-friendly Jack Couch Park and really put them into position to have this 2-1 series lead and the potential of trying to close it out here at home.
Eric Collins on the mic trying to keep fans entertained here at Labatt Memorial Park. Once again, here's a look at the out-of-town scores. Hamilton's on the board. They're back into that ball game at 4-2. Still 8-4 for the Leafs over the Royals. And as I check out Twitter, or formerly Twitter, now X, Mark,
they still call Rogers Center Skydome.
So, yeah, we'll go with it. I see here that Guelph Royals manager Dino Ramel has been ejected from tonight's game, and Ryan Eakin, who covers the team, has let us know that Dino Ramel threw a chair onto the field before being ejected.
The imagery there.
After being ejected, I should say.
Of course.
It does make it a little bit better that he was ejected prior to the chair throw, but that is obviously the emotions boiling over in Guelph, with the Royals trailing the Leafs 8-4 in that ball game.
And that's a situation where you had Claudio Custodio coming out of the game after 1 2/3 innings. And you think about those runs that he gave up. He only gave up the 1 hit. So you have to think about what that game was like in Guelph tonight. Maybe a lot of mistakes being made by the Royals. Well, that's just a frustrating situation if you're the Guelph Royals, who, again, they haven't advanced past the first round of the IBL postseason in a long time.
So the rain continues to fall here at Labatt Memorial Park. We are in a rain delay between the Majors and the Panthers here in Game 4. I don't often like to drive people away from our stream, Mark, but there is 2 other games going on tonight that, as we know right now, are not being delayed by rain.
I mean, we can always sing to the faithful.
You got a booming voice? Is that what you're trying to say?
I have quite the booming voice. Some people call me a soprano, maybe a little bit of an alto, maybe a little bit of a bass to the voice.
Okay.
Did a little bit of musical theater in my day.
Okay. You know what I think we should do, Mark? I think now that we actually have the time, and why not, let's pose a question to the viewers tonight who are watching. We have been told we sound awfully similar.
Right? I heard that too.
And it's not a comment that I've heard once or twice. It has been a comment that I've heard more than a few times. Noah, why are you in Kitchener calling the game? I'm not. That's Mark. Mark calls the games in Kitchener. So if you are watching, do we sound similar? Can you tell the difference between us? Let us know in the comments on YouTube, because I'm honestly intrigued. Is it that bad?
The one thing that I've always been told, I mean, obviously the first thing that comes to mind for some people, and it's kind of why I got into radio perhaps, was being told that I have a fantastic radio voice. And, in that, not a lot of people, if any at all, really sound similar to myself. Until I met you, it seems. And that's a long time in between being, starting off in the radio industry to right now, over a decade later.
Well, the rain is starting to come down a little bit harder here now, Mark, and it has sent some fans heading for the exits, although no official announcement yet.
Yeah, we will have to wait for the official call. Took about 30 minutes on Thursday for the umpiring crew to chat with the 2 dugouts to officially call the game off. So maybe we might be waiting a little bit here, but at the same time too, if the umpiring crew takes a look at the weather radar, that might factor into their decision a little bit more.
Well, it's just getting harder and harder now as the rain continues to fall here at Labatt Memorial Park. You can see it there falling on the tarp over home plate.
Yeah, that's a downpour.
Do see some comments in the chat there. Nobody wants to let us know if we sound the same, though, Mark.
No, not at all.
It's all right.
I think they're scared.
Talking about the rain, the tarps.
I will say you won't offend us if you think we do sound the
yes. There is no big infield tarps in the Intercounty Baseball League, or for that matter, a lot of quote-unquote minor league ballparks, for one big reason, and that's you need a lot of people to corral those tarps.
Have you seen some of those videos?
We're talking like 25, 30, if not more people on those big infield tarps to cover it. And don't get me wrong, even with the rain that's coming down right now, I don't know if that would save the field.
No.
It's just getting worse, and the rain is continuing to pound us here at Labatt Memorial Park.
Yeah, the only thing coming to my mind right now is that race trying to get the infield tarps on Major League fields and making sure that guys and girls aren't getting caught underneath.
Well, the rain coming down, you can see the wind picking up a little bit here now, blowing in kind of from beyond the third base grandstand out towards right field. That's the way the system's coming in from the northwest. Things not looking good here at Labatt Park. Panthers lead 2-0 in the rain delay. We'll bring you an update when we come back. You're watching Majors Baseball on MajorsTV.
I want to ride this pony, but I suffer from low E.
Millions of people are suffering from low energy, commonly known as low E.
Low E has hurt my performance in the bedroom. I haven't been able to make the bed in years.
Now there's hope. Planet Fitness replaces low E with Big E, which keeps you energized and glowing all day. Simply join through the free PF app for only $15 a month.
Planet Fitness is a proud partner of your London Majors.
You're watching.
Here's the pitch. Joseph drills it to right center field. That ball's going back to the warning track, to the wall. Goodbye, baseball. Starling Joseph, a 2-run home run.
London Majors Baseball on MajorsTV.
Go beyond the scores and get to know the athletes who call the Forest City home.
Joseph crushes one.
Game Day London brings you in-depth stories and conversations about London's major teams and the athletes. Whether it's in the rink with the Knights or on the field with the Majors, Game Day London has you covered from the start. For fresh and engaging sports coverage, visit GameDayLondon.com, a proud sponsor of MajorsTV.
You're watching London Majors Baseball.
London Majors Baseball. London Majors Baseball on MajorsTV.
Here we go.
Believe me, you've never heard a talk show like this.
I'm sleeping with Joe Carter. By the way, Joe did not touch them all.
Yeah, I have to say, like, your voice is fantastic.
Meet Smitty.
Listen, I'm the brains here.
And Mitty.
And I'm the good-looking funny one.
This is the Smitty Mitty Show.
Catch new episodes of the Smitty and Mitty Show wherever you get your podcasts.
You're watching London Majors Baseball on MajorsTV.
Back here at Labatt Memorial Park, as you can see there on our center field camera, the rain continues to fall here at Labatt Park. It is not looking good, Mark.
No,
I'll be honest with you.
Starting to see some puddling a little bit more over in the infield, more particularly at second base, near the grassy area.
Yeah, there's a
toward
good look
right
on our
field.
screen
Yes,
there. Just
indeed.
out beyond second, in front of the mound, even with the tarp on. Not looking good here at Labatt Park.
Yeah, I think we might be done for tonight. Again, that call not officially official, but I think we can pretty much say it's official at this stage.
Well, and as we touched on earlier, we don't know when this game will be completed, where it's going to be completed. That is all going to be left up to the teams and the commissioner and the league to decide. We just tell you to check out social media. You'll see it on both teams' social media platforms, what will happen with this game if it is indeed washed, which, like we said, it sure looks like it's on that way.
Yeah, again, it's not like the regular season. If this were the regular season, this would be called final.
Yeah, this would have been an official game.
Mm-hmm. But playoffs, you have to play it all the completion. Very, very much expected, that's for sure. But, I think there's going to be, might be it for this Tuesday night here at Labatt Memorial Park.
And you know what, Mark? It's a shame because we were being treated to a good one here tonight.
Yes, we
a 2-0
were.
ball game with the Panthers leading. But it was back and forth pitching performance between Pedro de los Santos and Yadian Martinez.
The one thing that I'm curious about is, with this game pretty much going to be suspended here for tonight, how does that factor in to the decision-making by both teams when it comes to pitching matchups? Particularly going into the tail end of a Game 4 and maybe potentially a Game 5 situation.
Well, exactly, and here's the situation. Without speculating too much, obviously the Majors are going to want to finish this game at home, which, if that's the case, is likely going to push back the potential Game 5 to a later date in Kitchener. If that's the case, what do both of these teams do with their pitching staffs? Mm-hmm. Right? You're likely not going to want to go back to De Los Santos or Martinez tomorrow after sitting off for 24 hours. Mm-hmm. So you're left with questions there, and of course, still a healthy amount of this ball game to be played. We mentioned we're deep into it, but still 3.5 innings left.
I mean, maybe you go to a Braden Farrington to go 3 innings to try and finish off a ball game.
Yeah, a guy that can get you some long innings out of the bullpen.
And then again, you look at, again, without speculating too much, if you have a game here tomorrow night pushing a game to Thursday, because it really also depends on field availability.
Exactly.
There's going to be more teams, a lot of minor teams that will use ballparks on a regular basis. OUA might start to become a factor as we get into the tail end of the postseason as well. Of course, we're only into the first round, but traditionally Thursday night games at Jack Couch Park have been happening all summer long. So I'd imagine that won't be an issue to try and get Jack Couch on a game for a potential Game 5 in Kitchener.
Rain continues to fall here at Labatt Park. Fans make their way to the exits. They can sense what's coming. No official word yet. We'll bring that to you as soon as we have it. Should thank as well our food sponsor, Kitchener Italian Cuisine, for sponsoring us and delivering us with the game day eats prior to our contest tonight.
That was delicious.
It always is. It always is. Our favorite tonight on the menu, the chicken parm subs, which are always a hit up here in the broadcast booth. So a big thank you to them for sponsoring us, helping us out with feeding our vast crew up here in the press box. As well, thank you to 519 Jersey Auctions for sponsoring our mobile camera. Shut down because of the rain right now, but was out there getting some good shots throughout the course of the ball game.
Might have to get one of those mobile cameras for Kitchener next season.
It is a good investment.
Yes, indeed.
Allows you to, even if you don't have a manned camera, allows you to kind of put it where you want it. Just forget about cords for a second. There's a look at our center field camera booming in there from 400 feet away. And even it catches the rain. There's going to be a rock, paper, scissors duel up here in the broadcast booth for who has to go take down that camera at the end of the night.
Best 2 out of 3, 3 out of 5. Oh, no, you won? All right, 4 out of 7.
4 out of 7. I'll keep going all night.
Rock, paper, scissors, lizard, Spock, maybe?
Try and weasel my way out of heading out to center field to pick up that camera.
I might hide in one of the dugouts to try and get away out of that.
I'm going to the bathroom forever. I will not be back.
I'm going to Kitchener. Good night.
See you later. Majors and Panthers in a rain delay here. For just joining us, Mark Pare. I'm Noah Smith, calling the game today, and now trying to work you through a rain delay. Always one of the more interesting jobs for an IBL broadcaster. I can go to the commercials as much as I want, but man, you do not want to hear those over and over again. So now you have to listen to me ramble about just about everything.
Giving the people no choice. I love it. Of course, with my broadcast, I'll go to maybe some fun public service announcements.
Yes.
Maybe throw some house hippos the fans' way every now and then during the break.
Well, Mark, let's take another look here at the out-of-town scoreboard. It's time ball game in Hamilton.
Yes,
Barry
it is.
Baycats and Hamilton Cardinals. Hamilton has battled back to bring that to a 4-4 game at Bernie Arbor Stadium.
Yeah, meantime in Guelph, as you mentioned, field manager Dina Ramel thrown out of that ball game. Toronto 8, Guelph 4 in the bottom of the 5th as Braden Farrington came into the media booth here trying to stay dry.
Was he trying to stay dry, or was he trying to weasel his way into an on-air interview?
I think he was trying to do the on-air thing.
We ignored him for a good 30 seconds, and he made his way down to the other end of the booth, possibly looking for some of our leftover Kitchener subs.
Hey, he gave me his brother's hockey jersey the last time I was here. I can't hate him.
Nope. He has to be in your good books for the rest of ever.
Absolutely. Yeah, ran into his dad Dave in the ballpark here earlier on today. Had a good chat with him. Of course, many people who don't know, I covered Braden's brother Logan while he was playing in his junior A days up in Timmins, Ontario.
The Rock.
So, yeah. Actually ran into Dave in a place called Mattawa, Ontario.
Okay.
Just east of North Bay, there was a junior A hockey game happening there. The Timmins Rock were on a road trip. And I was on just doing a road assignment. I think I was blogging for the weekend just to kind of give people a good view of what happens on the bus. Obviously not spilling stories out of school, but kind of giving people an inside look of what their junior A franchise is doing. And the second game of that road trip, sitting up. It's about an hour before game time. Who walks in? Dave Farrington. We have a good conversation. I end up getting called into broadcasting that game while his son was playing. But of course, he made the trip up from London to watch that game in Mattawa, and ever since I've been tied to that family quite a bit.
Can't get away from them.
No,
they tracked you down as soon as you walked into the ballpark.
Oh,
tonight.
Absolutely. They eyed me down. Well, I mean, when I came here, when Welland was in town, before earlier on in the day, Braden was tweeting at me or Xing at me, saying, "Yeah, I got a bit of a throwback for you." What does he show up with? His brother's hockey jersey, signed, game worn, and everything.
It's a hot commodity.
It is.
Surprised he was willing to part with that.
Hey, I had to give it back at the end of the night.
Okay.
That's the one that Logan's going to be hanging in the den.
I was going to say, yeah. Well, the rain continues to fall, although it looks like, and I don't want to knock on wood or anything here, but it looks like it has lightened a little bit, Mark. Of course, that's not going to stop the pooling on the infield here at Labatt Park, down the lines on the warning track, and, of course, around the home plate area. We have been told via hand signals up here on the broadcast booth that they are waiting just a little bit longer to make the decision that I think we all know is coming.
Get me a mimosa and get me into one of those pools in the infield.
Warm it up a little bit. And the Ballflowers begin to chant, "Let's play baseball."
Hey, we'd love to play baseball. Kind of something in the way, though.
A little wet out there as the rain falls here at Labatt Memorial Park. On a Tuesday night here in the Forest City. In Major League Baseball action, the Toronto Blue Jays head to the ninth inning, trailing by a couple of runs to the Washington Nationals. So Not good news on the Blue Jays front.
How about that Davis Schneider, though?
Davis Schneider continues to swing a hot bat. A home run tonight. An RBI double for Schneider. He continues to swing the bat well for Toronto. He's 2 for 4.
They brought him up at the right time, but Blue Jays got to get something going to get into a playoff position.
Tigers fans in the area. Detroit fell to New York 4-2 earlier this evening. Those watching the Blue Jays in the AL wildcard race, Texas beat the New York Mets 2-1 tonight. Seattle is trailing the Oakland A's early on in that ball game, 1-0. Cleveland a 3-1 win over Minnesota. Houston a 6-2 lead over the Boston Red Sox in the 8th inning. Baltimore, Tampa Bay continue to take control of their respective games. It is going to be a race to the finish line in the American League wild card.
You got to love it, though. That's going to be must-watch TV, especially down into the last couple of weeks of the regular season. Everybody just jockeying for position.
Keeps you glued to your seat, glued to the TV screen. As you mentioned, you don't want to miss it.
You really don't.
You don't want to be that person that's wondering, what is going on? What did I miss?
And I mean, there's more teams involved too, right? And when you think about, the amount of playoff positions there are nowadays, you think about back in the day in the 2000s and, the 2010s where you're only getting the one wild card and the 3 division champions. Then you bring in, the wild card game for the top 2 wild card finishers, and now you got 7 playoff positions to work with. A lot more teams feeling like they have an opportunity into the postseason, and it's only led to, must-watch TV in Major League Baseball.
Well, we are waiting for a decision to come down here at Labatt Memorial Park. Let's check out the out-of-town scoreboard one final time because, Mark, look at this. It's a 7-run bottom of the 6th inning for the Hamilton Cardinals, who now lead the Barrie Bay Cats.
Ooh, my goodness. You do not count out the Hamilton Cardinals at all. Yeah, 7 runs in this inning. Luis Bernardo hitting a home run to lead off the festivities in that inning. Everything else is just, put balls in play, and that's what the Hamilton Cardinals have been able to do in the 6th. It was a 4-0 game in favor of the Barrie Bay Cats after the 3rd inning. Oh my, things have changed.
Well, and hopefully they can get that ball game rolling because the rain's coming their way. You can see on your screen there as well, the rain has reached Guelph. They are in a rain delay. This system moves its way across southwestern Ontario and starts making its way towards the Hamilton area. We'll see if they can try to get that ball game in.
Yeah, Hamilton, brace yourself. It's coming.
This is what we're looking at here on the radar. That's the system that's coming towards Hamilton and what's, as you can see right now, hitting us here in London and hitting Guelph as well.
Yeah, we're right in the thick of it right now in London. Yeah, Guelph is also feeling it a little bit up more, and yeah, Hamilton, it's inching ever closer. They might need to get a pitch clock over in Hamilton pronto and get that game in the books.
Well, even if they don't, Hamilton's certainly happy with a 7-run bottom of the 6th inning. That brings them back into that ball game. Here in London, it's a 2-0 Kitchener lead in the bottom of inning number 6. London was just getting ready to bat. They just finished the top half of the inning when the rain began to fall at a pace that the umpiring crew decided they could not continue on with this game, and of course, they must have known at least a little bit what was coming because it has rained nonstop since that moment.
And you started to see the umbrellas come out about an inning before that. So it was, maybe some light rain in the area. But, I mean, it came in, the system really came in quickly and turned from light to heavy in about 30 seconds.
Yeah, when it did start coming down, you knew that this game didn't have a whole lot left in it. And that is where we sit here in the bottom half of inning number 6 with a 2-0 Kitchener lead. It's been about 32 minutes since the Tarps went on the field. And like I said, once again, waiting on the hand signals that told us a decision is looming.
Of course, this week also OHL training camps getting started up.
Yes.
The London Knights got started. The Guelph Storm got started earlier on today with a couple of scrimmage games too. Kitchener Rangers also starting it up.
Yep, everything getting underway. Are you back doing the Laurier games this fall,
I
Mark?
am. I'm going to be doing a few of the Laurier women's hockey games in the OUA, but my primary spot, of course, this year for my first full season, I will be the analyst for the Guelph Storm on MajorsTV. And also chipping in when the Sudbury Wolves come into the southwestern Ontario area and get to call some games with my good buddy David Bowen.
Hockey season nearing. I know there's a lot of London Majors fans, Panthers fans, of course. That's the natural transition. Hockey season, baseball season, back to hockey season. So this is that time when that starts to get ever closer. Myself, the Junior B hockey season right around the corner.
That's right.
As of now, we sit here and we watch the rain fall at Labatt Memorial Park as we wait for a decision. One final commercial break here, and hopefully we'll have a decision for you soon here at Labatt Park.
Go beyond the scores and get to know the athletes who call the Forest City home.
Joseph crushes one.
Game Day London brings you in-depth stories and conversations about London's major teams and the athletes. Whether it's in the rink with the Knights or on the field with the Majors, Game Day London has you covered from the start. For fresh and engaging sports coverage, visit GameDayLondon.com, a proud sponsor of MajorsTV.
You're watching London Majors Baseball.
London Majors Baseball. London Majors Baseball on MajorsTV.
We're back here on MajorsTV. The decision mark has become official. This game is being postponed and will be made up, as we are now learning, tomorrow night here at Labatt Park.
I guess I'm making another trip down the 401.
7:35 is the scheduled start here tomorrow night. It will be the completion of this ball game. So they will begin this in the bottom of the 6th inning with the Panthers up by a score of 2-0. In terms of, getting this game finished, you couldn't ask for a cleaner way to do it. We were just getting ready to start the bottom half of an inning, so you don't have to worry about runners in certain spots. But that's what's going to happen here tomorrow night at Labatt Park. Of course, if you look at the schedule, that is going to need the rescheduling of Game 5, the potential Game 5 in Kitchener tomorrow. We don't know when that is going to be yet. That's likely going to have to be pushed to either Thursday or Friday, or maybe even into the weekend, depending on when they can get diamond time in Kitchener.
Yeah, I could see it being Thursday. That's technically when they can usually get their time at Jack Couch Park. So I would definitely eye Thursday for a potential Game 5. But again, that's just speculation on my part, nothing official. Definitely keep tuned in on the social media channels for either team for anything official.
So that does it for our coverage here from Labatt Park tonight. Panthers leading by a score of 2-0 here in the bottom of the 6th inning. And we will bring you this action tomorrow night. So you don't have to wait too long here. Join us on the London Majors YouTube channel. From Noah Smith, Mark Pare, Cal Johnson, our producer, and our fantastic MajorsTV crew, we thank you for watching with us tonight. And we'll see you for the conclusion of this ball game tomorrow.